Welcome to your Daily 5 for Wednesday, October 30th, 2024. Recently, I was hanging out with friend of the show, Ant Pruitt, and at one point he asked me, where do you find all this stuff? Meaning, these strange TV shows, movies, other things that I come across and that we discuss on the shows and I talk about on the Fives. And I thought about it, and I answered him, of course, but then I was thinking about it and I thought, I don't know. I think at some point I did talk about or have mentioned on the shows, some here and there, where I find a lot of the weird stuff that I come across. But I thought, and of course some of it does come from you, the listener, so I appreciate that. That is not a resource I can replicate for everybody. I apologize. But I do have some other places that I regularly visit to try to see and stumble across odd, new, weird things. And so I figured, let me just go off some of them for you, or list off some of them for you so that you can go and seek these things out yourself. So probably the two that are the most, one is a piracy site of all things, but I don't really use it for piracy so much as I look at it to see what things strike me as strange in poster art, in what people upload, because people put a lot of things on piracy sites sometimes that aren't the most popular TV show or the newest movie, but instead weird, obscure things that they may only be one of 10 people who has a copy of it, or they have located some kind of weird version of something. So that first site would be, it's YTS, like Yankee Tango Sierra, .mx, which would be Mike X-ray. So YTS.mx. If you go there and you scroll through it, and you're going to get a bunch of pop-ups and everything, because of course there's a piracy site, so have your ad blockers on and be vigilant. But you will find there's some weird movies you have likely never heard of on there. And I would say take those titles that you see and go look them up and see if they look interesting. And where you probably will be able to watch them is where I typically get to watch them, which is on Tubi.tv. I think it's still Tubi.tv, or is it Tubi.com now? Whatever. Tubi, which is a free streaming service that has a mountain of legitimately just junky movies, but also gets a lot of obscure, weird stuff uploaded to it that you can watch for free with ads. The other place I would say online to look around, and this is a little tougher because the searching is a little bit more of a burden on you as the searcher, but go to the Internet Archive and just start looking at the movies and images and everything else. There are lists of weird, obscure movies all over the place on there. IMDb also has those. Those are places where I'll start, and I'll just look for interesting poster art or a strange description or just something about it that strikes me as interesting. Also, as I've mentioned multiple times, if you see ratings for movies that are really high and really low and there's nothing in between, you might want to read more about whatever that movie is, because anytime people get exceptionally divisive about a film, I'm interested. That's usually a good sign. Shudder, the streaming horror service, has a lot of weird things on it. That one is tougher to recommend because you have to pay for it. But if you do have it, dig around and look for things that don't seem to fit, like Sons of Steel, which is not a horror movie, and yet it was on Shudder, and I absolutely love that movie. And the other thing is, Reddit forums are really good for this. Go around Discord. There are multiple different Discords that are for bad or, lesser cinema, like Cinema La Bad, which Rojan from over at Project Archivist runs. But there's a ton of this stuff out there because now there's so much media and there's so many people talking to each other that it is easier than ever to find odd things. So go and look around because those resources are there. But like I said, my real kind of barometers are the poster art and what people's reviews are. Because once you figure out the wavelength of reviews that you key in on, and that's even ones where people hate something you love, that will open a lot of doors for you. So like I said, YTS.mx is one place to look at different posters and movie art that's on there for stuff that people upload. Internet Archive, Reddit, Discord, and the IMDb list. Go look on IMDb. As much of a junky site as it has become in recent years, there are still a lot of people who upload good lists to it. So if you look for weird, obscure, out there, underground cinema, you will find it. And again, Reddit is just, you can find anything on there, but there's multiple different Reddits that are dedicated to this stuff. It's out there. There's websites. YouTube has a lot of stuff, although that's a little tougher because YouTube can be really hit or miss, so that's kind of my last resort. But the reality is, if you want to find things that are off the beaten path, you have endless resources now. So, like I said, just a couple of options for people who might be interested. Go out there, find something weird, fall in love with it, and then go from there, because that road will travel to many places for you. Later.